Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream here on the twitch.tv/the Xisuma. Playing on the Hermitcraft. Peeps, I got issues with my headset. My headset broke, it snapped. I taped it back together and now it doesn't like sit on my head properly. So when I have to adjust it like this, it tends to make awful sounds in the microphone. So if you hear that throughout the stream, I apologise. We've got bananas in chat from Spooky Dokie, Hero Blender, Forgil, Sir Jemin, Wilma. Thank you so much for your bananas in the chat, letting me know that we're live. Also, any audio issues, anything that doesn't seem quite right, please let me know. I've been undertaking hardware changes and upgrades. Speaking of which, for those of you that have been at my recent streams, look in front of you right now. Does something look a little bit odd? Right? On my monitor, it feels like the game's textures are not as saturated. Yet, when I jump into this screen, it looks really normal, like the greenness here. This bit. But the game doesn't look as saturated. I wish I hadn't said it now, because I didn't actually really want to like put the idea in anyone's head. Anyone in chat? I'm looking at you, chat. I need your responses. I need your help. It just doesn't... I don't know, the game just doesn't look as saturated to me. Oh, and now I'm getting lost in the darkness. Sorry, what was the question? Does this, what you're seeing right here, look saturated enough? Now, you know, I could turn my monitor to black and white, for example, and then you would still see color. The way the information, like, the monitor is displaying the game. So what I see may technically not be same to you. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes, maybe I'm imagining something. Everywhere I look here, it does not feel right to me. It feels like something changed when I was messing around unplugging cables and plugging them back in. Also, my microphone might start making some humming noise at some point. It did it a couple of times to me today. I've been wiggling the cables around trying to make sure it's all okay. And do you know what? I was going to do some auto crafting at the beginning of the stream, but we'll leave this stuff here, and I'll come grab it when I need it. Because I made a bone crafting script. Bone block crafting script. That's what I made. And my plan was to just start off with that. But, no. We'll do things a little different today. I do need to go drop off some stuff to be sorted, right? As you might be able to tell, I've been doing a lot of AFKing over here, getting loads of bones together, so... Sometimes my streams just start like that. That's just where we are. Let's have a look. We got Otis Tay 2 with the Prime. Thank you so much, my dude, for using the Amazon Prime and subscribing to me. Forgil suggests it might be the low light level at my base. It's not that. It really isn't. It really does look desaturated to me. I'll get to investigate and poke around. I think I've got a rough idea as to what it might be. I think the color profiles of my monitors might have been lost because I've been tweaking like all these cables and plugging things in and out, and they kind of like lose their profile. Actually, that needs to just come with me. Okay. Well, that goes somewhere else. Okay, so we can stock up the bone shop. These will get crafted later. Yeah, and now we've got a good old stash of bone meal again. Terrific. Are you on a HDR monitor? I don't think I am, but I think it's just the color profile probably got reset. I just find it a bit odd how this doesn't feel desaturated yet this does. That being said, maybe the totem looks a little less golden. But sometimes that's how that stuff works with hardware, right? Like the color profile gets passed on to the rendering engine or something like that. Again, I feel like actually maybe these blocks inside of inventories are a little desaturated. I will figure it out. It's just another job to do. Kasperi is here for 9 months. Thank you so much for your support. Hello, hello. First stream in a while again, but then again, I should be studying. Oh well, have a good stream. You go do your studies, dude. Don't let me distract you. Don't let me drag you down. Right, we're going to drop off some things here. I don't even know what my plan for organising all of this stuff is right now, you know? That's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like... We'll go drop these off at the... I was supposed to put that in the bone farm, but that's fine. Right, we got all our chests here. I think I just left my tools chest behind, didn't I? That in the offhands. What are these ones? Bone blocks. We're going to go sort out bone blocks first of all. Then we're going to do some digging in the nether. I'm probably going to just jump around and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I haven't actually thought much about the stream today, other than looking forward to it. Blaze Hedgehog says some texture packs went weird. No, I don't think it's that. I think it must be the pro... Yeah, oh my god. It's really apparent to me how desaturated this all is. You just won't see it because it's a monitor issue. I basically... When you, like, plug in monitor cables and plug them back into your computer, if they get swapped around, which all of these have been because I've been getting it ready for moving to the new computer, the computer sort of treats it like it's a new monitor, and therefore all the settings, like all the calibration that I did, has gone. Right, we got to do a thing here today. We're going to prep for a massive tunnel, and this, I spoke to Corrales, is not a thing anymore, so we don't have to worry about that. And we'll be prepping for a massive tunnel through this space. It's going to be awesome. Right, the noises are really coming in here. I've got so much to tell you about with the computer stuff. I just feel like we go all over the place, but that's the fun of it. Just embrace whatever this is, this weird time and age. By the way, Lulu-chan39, thank you ever so much for signing up on Patreon. Appreciate you doing that. Hope you enjoy playing on the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. Oh, and oh, actually, I don't know if I can talk about this. So, mods in the staff channel chat, please let me know if I can talk about how do I say something without saying it? If Garth's there, Garth will know. A change? There's... Wait, there's a change right here. These weren't normally like that, were they? Someone changed those either side? Just say it. I really don't... I don't think it's a big deal to say it, but sometimes certain news just needs to go through certain people first. Right? Just kind of out of respect. It doesn't really matter who, like, in what order people hear things, but sometimes certain things happen that you just, you know, you want to make sure the right people hear about first. Bear, thank you. I could have said 5 letters, begins with, you know, ends in. I could have, but my brain wouldn't do it. My brain would just think of the most precise terminology possible. Yeah, is it okay to talk about that? The desaturation just keeps hitting me over and over again. I'm just like, whoa, whoa. Yeah, so I'm going to leave these here for the long run. Everything else is like personal. No more sales there. Let's go check up on iBuy. Let's go check up on that. Peeps are really curious. Hey, it might be relevant to some of you when I tell you, and to those who ain't, you'll realise it's not a crazy big deal. It's a big deal to me. It'll be a big deal to some people, but it's just a thing. I don't know if I can talk about it or not. It just crossed my mind. No, 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 says the music. I guess I can't talk about it. We got Miuza7, whose name I probably always butcher. Thank you so much for your 7 months of support. Master Joof is here with an absolute ton of cheers and biddies. Thank you so much, my dude. Morning X, love what you do. Keep on being awesome. Thank you for the encouraging message, my man. I appreciate all the support all the time from everyone, really. It's lovely to do this. I feel... Hey, Sin Unworth. Sin Unsworth in chat. Nice to see you, dude. I just feel a little unprepared for this stream. I've just had a day where it's like this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing, doing all the hardware, going for a run, sitting in the sauna, just getting through it all, and then stream time rolls around, and we have a great time. We have a great time. Maintenance needs to be done out the back. Please talk now, I want to know, says Samcat. I've really done it now, haven't I? Bear, let me know if it's okay or not. Because I don't know who knows what. And, like, certain people should know before other people, right? Okay, stocking up time and reading noises in the eardrum. Okay, I'm glad I didn't say anything then, because I think, yeah, I won't say anything then. Thanks, 4Gil, for the clarification. Just makes sense to, you know, I'll talk about it next stream or something. Pear says, oh god, why are you asking me? Because you got access to the chat! Okay, it doesn't actually look like I've had any more customers since I was last here. I mean, a little bit more of the quartz by the looks of it. You know, we want to put on a good face for this shop and always be stocked up. Hero Blender, 10 months of support, incredible. Thank you so much, my dude. Hi X, how are you doing? Oh, almost had a heart attack then. Got an Evil X coming through. I'm doing good, Hero Blender, thanks for asking. May School, 98 months, closer and closer to 100. The first thing that I saw, my dude, was the 100. Like, it caught my eye as I look over there, and I was like, oh, I'm not quite ready. Okay, something will happen when we hit 100, don't you worry about it, okay? I have not been slacking, and thank you for everything you're doing, Mace. I appreciate your efforts with the, let's call it a secret project? Yeah, it's a secret project. More secrets. Right, Anonymous, thank you ever so much for gifting a sub to Conky00. Appreciate the gifting of the subs. We also had That Ginger Cosplayer gifting a sub to Comrade Server. Thank you as always. If you hear your name being read out loud, be sure to say thanks in the chat. The Doc Prismarine is making the big bucks. I'm not surprised. Skulk isn't fully stocked. I think we don't need to worry about that right now. I do have all that I need for that project. Cute Pyro Zero's here for 8 months. Glad Iskal85 is back on Hermitcraft and the gang is back together. Yeah, awesome to see Iskal come back. And Stress as well. Don't forget about Stress. Oh, okay, so I actually need to go pick up some Skulk and some Prismarine by the looks of it. Did I leave this thing? Huh. Gotta remember to do that. Yeah, so we need a couple of... this will probably do the trick. Some Skulk and some Prismarine. I should probably take some ink sacks with me and craft it over there. Oh, ink is on the floor above. Bruh, call it a secret project. You whipped get everyone even. I don't know what you mean by that. I do not know what you mean. Gotta work on those typos, man. I make typos all the time. God. Especially when I'm typing with one thumb on my mobile. It looks like I'm talking gibberish. Listening to more Frank Lepaki today. Oh, by the way, my stream time is just a little on the shorter side today. And then on Sunday morning, I plan on doing a longer stream. Gonna listen to the Red Alert for that one, and then we've done the little sweep for all the different games. Red Alert 2. Tiberian Sun, today the first Command and Conquer, because I had a bit of like a nostalgia kick the other day, and I was like, time to go through the classic Frank records again. 1TSNJ, thank you so much for subscribing, appreciate you supporting us here on the twitch.tv/theXisuma. Right, it is now 13 minutes in, I've got a hot cup of tea right here, it's time to start sipping on it. Can't beat a bit of Hellmarch, such a banging tune, isn't it? Such a classic. I'm making myself breakfast burritos because it's like 9:30, says Gracie. That sounds nice. I made quesadillas for myself the other day. And, yeah, today, like, once a week, I schedule myself a movie and, like, a takeaway, and maybe I'll have a Halo top as well. Like, I schedule myself some serious phone away, don't think about anything, enjoy yourself time. And, today is that day. Burnt, 21, thank you for the Prime, and Fire and DOS, thank you for those cheers and biddies. I've just realised, okay, I had to fix some audio things today, I've just realised how I can make that noise in my ear not as loud, because it's insanely loud for me. I am just going into Windows and fixing it right now. Yes, if I just drag these two down, it will be about, yeah, there we go, 40. So it should be, next time we get one of those noises, it should be less. Fire Under says, just want to give a little bit to one of my favourite YouTubers to listen to. Thank you so much, I appreciate it greatly. Oh, I got quieter. What? Okay, thank you for... I'm glad I looked right back at chat then. Interest... Hang on, that doesn't make any sense that I would get quieter. Oh, actually, it kind of does. Yeah, I can see how maybe that would... it's weird, it's weird. Weird stuff. I don't know. Can y'all hear the music, by the way? Is the music, like, if you're a regular watcher, does it sound sort of same level as it normally would? Because I saw stuff when I was fixing things today where I was like, that doesn't look quite like how it's normally set up, but it seems to be working. Oh man, I remember the days where, for years and years and years, right in your face, I just insisted the best way to do this was to have like the one audio channel set up. I routed all my audio through my USB headset. Whatever I would hear would be what you would hear, and with the exception of my voice being added. And I never had problems. Oh, someone's been here doing something. I never had problems, right? But now I get the added benefit of being able to mix the game sounds a little different, mix the Hermit volume a little different, you know. There's some positives to having a more complicated setup, but the amount of times things goes wrong, I don't know if it's worth it or not. If you are a new YouTuber starting out, dang, that is loud. Tanny Glaze, thank you so much for the cheers and biddies. 4 years of subs is madness. Oh, it is madness indeed. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I always prefer music to be louder, says Taubar. The reason I keep it sort of at this level is it seems reasonable to me based on what other people have, like, given me feedback on, I guess. But I personally, like, I find it funny how, like, I don't really watch Twitch streams, and I play music in my own stream, right? But I don't, like, I can't watch a stream if someone's got music on, because I want to listen to my own music, right? That's just how I am. Oh, well that moved. Okay, it's over there now. Yeah, this inventory is just a little bit disgusting, isn't it? A little bit disgusting. Let's clear it out a little bit more. Oh boy, so many things. Like, I start waffling about tech because we have, like, sound issues going on. I was talking about movie watching, wasn't I? Yeah. So I was like, I tried to make up my mind in advance so I don't have, like, decision anxiety or whatever. So I don't really fancy a curry today, and then I thought I might have a Mexican, which is that message that I was reading 5 minutes ago. Now you understand why I'm talking about that. So I could either order a Mexican or a Chinese. I can't make up my mind as of yet, but I'll make up my mind swiftly when the time comes. Probably just going to go Mexican because it's a restaurant I haven't tried, and I really like Mexican cuisine. Some of my favourite. And yeah, I had like a couple of fat curries recently, so I'll try something different this week, you know. Keep it varied, keep it interesting. X sounds like he's going to order people, LeMayo. Oh, right, because I'm referring, yes. Order an Indian. Maybe I'll order a French. I don't think I've ever heard French cuisine referred to that way, so there you go. Yeah, I've been over here farming stuff, peeps. I ain't been slacking, you know. I just want to get this stuff into the hands of other hermits now. I want them to know that their inspirations, their imaginations are not limited. You know, by having to gather resources. X is doing it for you. But we share the same music taste, so stream music is also my own music, says Taubar. That works, doesn't it? That works. Sinonsworth says, music has to be on when I stream. Kind of pointless streaming anything else. Yeah, I got ya. I got ya. Would it be more efficient to make a small auto item sorter to chests into one material? It was on my list of things to do, and I think I might do it just based on how often I need to go over there. Because now that we built up a large stock, It's like, if you have to frequently do that crafting stuff, yes, it does make sense to sort the items a little bit, right? But we'll see. Is that a British thing? I notice non-British people get confused when we say Indian, Chinese, etc. It could be, Everstu. It could be just a particular thing of being in this country that you don't know because it's just normal to you. Stefan RBK, the one, the only, with 40 months, saying, did I miss the Mumbo prank again? Maybe you should prank Tango so I won't miss it. Oh man, Tango's a legend. I love what he's doing with Decked Out. Every now and then, you just get that reminder. Like, we all know it's there, and then you see him do something where you're like, wow, that's really great, like what he did with the maps. And I love that he's got a project that, like, you can, like, chip away at. That's of his own creation. I really want to find something that, like, I sound like a broken record, right? Going on about wanting to do mini games. Maybe it doesn't have to be a mini game. I really love a big project that involves lots of redstone that I can chip away at. And actually, I've got an idea that suits it that I keep mentally coming back to. And I don't know why I haven't mentioned this before, but I've been thinking about how just a couple of mods can really make you rethink how you do redstone and how you run a base and stuff, right? These two mods are as follows. Let's say we implement it through some sort of like end game mechanic to make it at least something, because it's very powerful, make it something you have to work for. But like, let's say you can craft a player with, I don't know, beacons, shulker shells, all that end game stuff. So you got to work for it. But once you've crafted a player, you can create like a ghost player that sits at a farm and like does the AFK clicking. So as you build up infrastructure in your world, you can actually keep those farms running and treat it like you've got an AFK player there doing the magic, you know. We're dropping down to the floor below, aren't we? The other thing was a basic auto crafting where you could feed hoppers into a crafting table and do some crude basic crafting. I was kind of thinking at first that maybe it's like if you put in an item like a bone block, it'll create the bone mill, but you can't do complex crafting. You can only do like one item turns into something else. But then I started to think, well, maybe doing complex crafting is interesting too. As like a late game thing, you can start to build up like mass crafting systems. So there's some potential there is what I'm thinking. Anyways, when I think about it like that, I start to think about how you can tie so many elements of a base together. Like, you could really start to automate in different ways, because your AFK player in the Nether can send items from that farm into your like overworld storage area, and you could link everything together. And I thought that would just be like a really interesting challenge to essentially do what you normally do. You build all the farms, right? Except you're going to link them all together in this world, right? Like, you're going to be able to, at some point in time, be in one spot, and all of your farms can just bring the items to where you are. That's like the end goal. I always thought that would be a really cool like concept, and I've never been able to execute it because I play on Hermitcraft, right? And we do things the Hermitcraft way. But yeah, that idea's been roaming around in my head for ages, and that would just be such a fun, massive project, because like the nature of doing farms like we currently do then gets like this extra layer where it's about how you tie things together. And then there's probably some other possibilities you never thought of that you could do because you're playing with this mod. I think we should go repair our items and give some love to what Jevin's done in the end dimension. Or on the way to the end dimension, should I say. Alright, so we got Stifts, whose name I probably butchered. Thank you for your Amazon Prime subscription. 3 months right there. And a Emerald Entity, thank you again for another Prime. Appreciate all the support, peeps. I just realised he is on level 540. Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal, really, is it? I just started paying attention. He's talking about creating a Minecraft computer in-game, like Sky Factory. No, not a Minecraft computer, just a level of automation where you link all of your things together, right? Like, I've got a witch farm if I go AFK over there. So, like, with my idea for how to play Minecraft in a different way with a couple of mods, I would like install an AFK player that like stands still, or maybe one that like clicks a sword every so often, right? And then you've got the added challenge of keeping them alive. So you've got to feed them, perhaps, or maybe you create a currency that is required to use them. So then you've got to... Oh, that makes it way more interesting, because then you've got to feed the maintenance to them as well. And slowly you can build up an infrastructure where these things are all linked together with like chunk loaders and AFK players, and the items are like being moved through hopper chains throughout the world to keep stuff running. And then that, with redstone, would just be a really awesome product. It sounds really good to say it out loud. Carpet mod lets you spawn players. Yes, that is correct. I think, you know, I know there's mods like Carpet that I could use in my own way with my own rules. But I think packaging them into a mod pack would be the smarter way to do it. Because when you make a series, people are going to want to play along, right? Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at what Jevin's done here. Miniature End Island. Oh, with the End City. That's true. This looks great, doesn't it? This might be a potential thumbnail. Shout out Jevin. You know? With the terrific thumbnail. I like what he's done with the chorus fruits and using the amethyst. That's like not a part of the ends palette, but you just kind of... It just kind of works, right? Like, this was here and I didn't have to think about it. And the lamps. Yeah, they fit in really nicely, yellow and purple. Great project. A little bit of glow liking I see back there, you know? Awesome. What a great way to get here. Dang, saying it out loud now, it really makes me want to do that. If I were to do that idea, I'd have to like take a break from Hermitcraft, which I just love Hermitcraft, you know. Mayskool says, wasn't there a redstone group that had a vanilla redstone chunk loader? Yeah, there's ways to chunk load. I mean, you can do it. I could do it right now. Like, chunk loading isn't tricky. Sending items through portals and then having a system on either side to keep them going back and forth is basically it. The trick is, though, when you like exit and reload the world or the server restarts, you have to create a chain to like load them up again. So you can use redstone to sort of lazy load chunks, and I think that can reignite a chunk loader that's run with a portal. Burt Potato, thank you for 28 months. The Bearded General, thank you for 2 months. Love coming to listen to the waffle. Thank you. There's a lot of waffling going on here. I watched that video last night. A ship there would be cool too. A ship would be very cool, actually. That's a cool idea. Yeah, we're gonna slash up some Enderman. Oh yeah, I've been using my audio panel to mute the game lately. There's something about like muting it externally that then makes it easier to... Oh dang it! I never went and got my Okay, let's just bring the sound back then. I never went and got my sword. Some streams are like this. We just walk and talk a lot, and that's okay. Wait, I did read Burt Potato, right? Yeah, I read Burt Potato. Just looking at the notifications. Thank you, thank you. Right. Oh, I used my respawn anchor just the other day. I must have used the bed since then. In fact, didn't we? Yeah, we used the bed this stream. Otherwise, I would have respawned at the respawn anchor. Yep, you got my potato waffle, says Burt Potato. Thank you, thank you. Potato waffle. Those shulkers are really cool. Are those downloadable or custom made, says Bilksem. They're part of my mod pack. If you go to my link tree, you can find a link to the mod pack. So, like, this is vanilla Minecraft experience, like, on the server, slightly enhanced in places, you know. Aesthetic details have been added, as well as, let's say, social tools, and there's a few of that. But basically, it's a mod pack for vanilla where you get little extras like custom textures and, like you saw with this stuff, right? Things like that. Okay, now we can go to the end dimension. Goodness me. I might as well just do the same thing here, right? It's probably a little bit slower, but then I don't have to take that long trip. If I'd have done this at the very beginning of the stream, that probably would have been... Oh! Loud. Probably would have been the way to go. Right, I got things I want to talk about today. Auto-clickers. And since we're here, it makes sense to talk about auto-clickers, right? So in the latest episode, I created an auto-crafting script using AHK with the help of ChatGPT. And I've been continuing to do that. And I've got some really cool ideas now. So here's something that I do a lot in this game. I have to go into these modded menus and try and remember what that setting was or what the hotkey was for it. And I've speculated on creating like a mod that lets you come in here and what are we looking for? Hotkeys. And like this is awkward to remember and awkward to deal with. You want like a mod that just shows you the name of something that you called it and then like presses the combination for you. I've been unable to find something like that or make it happen. So, you know, it's on the back of my mind that's a problem that needs fixing. And then I kind of realized that auto hotkeys, right, I could leave it open on the other screen. And when I want to do something like that, if I alt and tab and just, I've got a list of buttons that say like, turn the rendering off or turn the rendering on, you know. A little bit of coding work now will save me so much time in the future. Samir, is this thing like insanely slow all of a sudden? Because I need to use my pick. Dang it, I'm going to the end. I'm just going to go to the end. In fact, I might as well hold on to that as well. And now I'm looking for my pick and I'm like, where is it? It's here. It's here, homie. There we go. So not only that, sometimes when I go into a new world, which is, I say sometimes, it's like a regular occurrence when I make snapshot videos, I want to type set the time to 6000, stop the daylight cycle, stop the weather cycle, and then I often use effects like strength and then clearing effects and night vision and conduit power. And I could put all of these onto an auto hotkey script and have it type it in for me. So I just press the button and then it does the rest. And it does it quicker as well. So that's my new little project now, is to start developing auto hotkeys and using it to solve problems. And I encountered one that drove me mad with my auto clicker. I couldn't believe it, right? Let's say auto crafter actually. So I built a system for crafting bones into bone blocks, and that requires a couple of steps. So it will take 3 stacks of bones, it will get 9 stacks of bone meal, and then it will go ahead and it will craft them into bone blocks, right? Now I don't have them. In fact, no, I can show you, because all I need is some bones, right? And I stocked up. In fact, this chest has them. Okay, right. So let me show you the issue that I encountered. That I was just like, what is this? Gonna need some more of those, I think. Actually, I can't show you it unless I've got bones themselves. Dang it! I can't show you it. Oh well. There's this really interesting thing where you can right-click here. I wonder if I've got, like, something somewhere. Like, multiple ways to make the same item is what you need. I really want to show you this now. Iron can be made from both nuggets. Dang it. Right, here we go. So if I just make a couple of those, and then halve that and do this. Right, look at this. Right click for more. The display order of these seems to be one way around most of the time, but occasionally it will flip. And I couldn't figure out what causes it to flip. Like, you know, is it the way the items are arranged in your inventory? Is it this thing? Is it that thing? I couldn't seem to manipulate it. I couldn't seem to find a route for what was going on there. So I restarted the client and it went back to the way that I'd normally seen it. So one time I was using the script and it wasn't working because when it does the right click bit, those options are in the wrong order. And I just couldn't get to the bottom of why they would all of a sudden just be in a different order, you know? It was really, really strange little issue to find. And I'm hoping it doesn't crop up again, but yeah, just something to consider. Would you ever do a hardcore series, says MTB? It doesn't really appeal to me much, the hardcore thing. I'm the kind of player that would rather play with keep inventory on when you die. Like, I don't find, after all these years of playing, the survival aspect to be the most appealing anymore. I'm more interested in the challenge, but maybe if I ever undertook that game idea that I just talked about a moment ago, maybe that would be a great way in which to try hardcore. Do that, but do it in hardcore mode, you know? You could use some pixel detection to check which of the two to click, says Talbar. Yep, I had that idea too. I say I had that idea. I actually read that in the comments that you could do that. I use a resource pack though, so I'd be creating something specifically for myself, and if you used a different type of resource pack, it would not work out quite the same. Unless like the... I don't know, you could take like a cross section which would appear the same, as long as you're using, like, you haven't changed those textures, you know what I mean? Maybe there are ways of identifying it, like, universally. Hey, 3 hours in A&E. Sorry to hear that, Real Sandy. Hope everything is okay. Dang. Welcome to the stream. We got Father of Apocalypse here for 43 months with that Amazon Prime. Thank you so much for another one. Appreciate y'all's support. Yeah, I feel like I'm just such a broken record on these streams, always saying thank you, but I really do mean it. Like, I remind myself, like, every day of how fortunate it is to do something like this, and what an amazing journey it's been. And I feel like I'm at this point now as a creator where I just don't need to prove anything, and I just want to do things for the love of it, you know? It's a really, really strange place. And a lot of that is to do with Hermitcraft itself. You know, Hermitcraft's such an amazing group to be a part of, and we've grown so much over the years, and it's amazing to have us all still here, like playing together and doing this thing. It's kind of wild. It's just, it's not something you'd ever thought of doing when you were young. You know, sometimes, oh, if you can hear the microphone noises right now, I'm adjusting the headset. Sometimes you have those moments of like, oh, what might I do when I'm older? Do I want to do this thing? Do I want to do that? But like, I never thought it'd be anything like this. Like, this doesn't even make sense when you stop and think about it. Okay, we're all repaired up. The tools are looking fantastic. We just gotta get out of here now. Yeah, maybe like ender pearls would be a good fuel. Thing with adding in like an AFK player that does all the clicking for you. Oh yeah, I can turn my sounds back on now. Is that it doesn't really matter like what cost it is, like what materials. You're always going to find a way to automate it. But maybe ender pearls would be a cool challenge, you know. I remember in Season 2 making a system where your ender pearls from... Oh, this is before rockets, by the way, so this sounds way better if you imagine that you don't have rockets. But I started building a system where you go to the end, you kill the enderman, and the ender pearls come back through the portal to the overworld, and then at the spot they appear in the overworld, they get sent into the nether, and from the nether they get distributed to all the different hermits' nether portals, and give them a supply of ender pearls at their base. I don't think I ever finished it, but that was such a cool project. But now that's like totally redundant because of firework rockets, right? Yeah, we're going into the nether. I'm going to the right place. Just had to remind myself of what was next. So, you know, 38 minutes and we've done nothing. I love it. I love it. I don't even care anymore. I'm just here to have a good time. I remember that project, the Pyramid Days. Yes, yes, the Desert Pyramid. Beautiful times. Will Season 10 be a special season since it's the 10th one? Nah, it's gonna be a boring season where no one really tries or puts any effort in. You know, we were talking about it just the other day. We were like, Season 10. You know, like people are gonna want something big and, you know, special. So let's go in the opposite direction. Let's make like the dullest season of Hermitcraft ever. I can't wait for it. Really, it's gonna be a real challenge to not have fun and to try and be as boring as possible. You know, I don't know quite how it's going to work out, but I'm always down for trying something different, you know? That's how you got to evolve as a creator. You can't keep just making good content. Sometimes you learn by making bad content, right? So, you know, let's not get some hype in chat because, you know, Season 10, worst season ever, right? I think. At least that's the plan. Okay. Season 10, the return of the boring voice. Hey, I might get a new microphone soon. I've got an extra incentive with this thing recently breaking. I was just chatting with Impulse about microphones and stuff, and I was just thinking, like, why have I not yet at least tried something else? You know, like, I'm aware that this microphone can't last forever, and I should really start thinking about reading some reviews and getting my hands on some different tech or something, right? Dude, where does the beacon beam start? I need some beacon beam energy around here, you know? You know? Because there's a beacon. Right, there we go, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Just a little bit of beacon love, you know? God, this is some treacherous terrain that we are going to prep today. Yeah, so the dealio is that I'm just prepping for a tunnel that goes to Ibai, as you can probably tell, because, you know, you've seen the tunnel before. And clearly there's work to be done here, thanks to this fantastic terrain. You're used to it. Gotten to know exactly how the mic acts, says Contortium. It's more a case of, this is what everyone knows, this is what my voice sounds like, and the reality is, I think 90% of what makes your voice work for people is probably not in the microphone. It's probably just in the way you talk. Like, talking isn't just like the aesthetic, it's sometimes the pace, the things you say, what you're conveying. Dang, like, the Nether is making some ghastly sounds right now, and it's like kind of hyping up the music a little bit. Sounds cool. So that's like where most of the value is, I think, really. And you get a little bit hung up on the fact that you will sound aesthetically different with a different microphone. And I just think it's probably time to start looking into that now. I've been on a bit of a tech kick as well, I guess, with all the computery stuff that I've been doing, you know. So the latest thing that I've done for my new computer is I brought a USB hub, a switcher, and I don't know why I didn't think of doing this sooner. I think it's because I've had some bad experiences with trying to get a keyboard mouse switcher to work in the past. But I brought this USB hub. It's got 2 USB cables you can connect to your 2 computers, and then it's got 4 that you can connect to other devices. So I set it up with my Go XLR, and it seems to work just fine. I've set it up with my Steam Deck, also works fine, and keyboard and mouse. And now I can switch them between the 2 computers, which is really cool. It'll make transitioning from this setup to the other one a lot smoother, but it'll also allow me to still use this computer. Like, the last time I set up a backup computer, I had a much simpler setup that you could just switch over to and use. And now my setup is more complicated because I've got like the Go XLR and stuff. So now it needs like I guess a more complex solution. But I've got that sussed out. So I'm gonna try and make a habit of just like keeping this computer up to date on Windows Update, and yeah, it'll always be ready to come into use if ever it needed to be, right? I think is a pretty smart strategy. By the way, I have absolutely like no cleverly measured plan of what I'm doing here. I'm just wandering around and like filling bits in and then going over here. It's just how I feel like playing today. Well, at least your microphone isn't a tissue box, cough cough Efo. Oh, that's an interesting comment, because Efo used the same microphone as me for the longest time. Or should I say I used the same microphone as him. Liking his voice, when he shared what microphone he used, I looked at it and I went, oh, I'll get one of those. This is like literally 10 or 11 years ago. And since then I've been using the same microphone. This is like, I think, the 4th or 5th headset, and I think I've got another 1 or 2 brand new out the box, like stashed away, but I don't know if I want to switch to it. I'll probably find out relatively soon that I need to stop using this one. And when I realise that, I'll bust out the next one, but then I'll start experimenting. Then I'll start researching and thinking about what I might get next. I was initially thinking of going for like a podcasting amp, like the Shure. It's a popular one. But the thing with a headset is, you put it on your head and the microphone stays close to you, right? And I reckon I will suffer, especially with a desk that changes position. I'm going to suffer with just forgetting, because I'm so used to having the headset on. I'm just going to forget that I need to move the microphone right now, like, because I'm standing here or there. Or I'm going to just be playing and, like, just naturally move away from the microphone a little bit. It's just going to happen. And so I'm kind of thinking, I'm a headset user. Just stick with the headset, you know? Just stick with that, it'll do. Which mic / headset are you using? It's the Logitech G330. And if you want to buy one, it'll probably cost you £400, something like that. And is it worth £300 to £400? No, it's worth about 20 quid. But they are just absolutely rare now. They're like no longer manufactured. Basically, it was a headset that just had a really nice microphone for some reason. I don't know what made it special, but it just had a good mic. Oh, by the way, this thing is going to be 19 blocks wide, I just remembered. So, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Well, that was 7, 8, 9. And then from the center, another 9. So, yeah, that's kind of the edge right here. If I just get that in now... So, like, everything down here is kind of cleared for our project. Now we need to just... Is it here? That feels about right. Now we just need to go in this direction. Right, and I think I'll even just add in a little barrier here. So when I look back, it becomes kind of clear that I've cleared it out to that line right there. Cool. Just keeping myself in check with what we're doing. Logitech does that. I used to have a lap desk from them with amazing speakers. They don't make it anymore, though. It's the nature of most things is that they eventually... Oh, wow, I must have not picked up anything over here. Dang. I goofed there, didn't I? Not that we need it. Let's take care of these pearls. I'll do. The G930 is the best headset they ever made, a G330 with wireless. Oh, I didn't even think about getting a wireless... Okay, now I want to do research, like a wireless headset? I also want to get one with a headset stand, because one of the problems with this is that it warps over time, which is why it broke recently. I could have honestly done a little better. I think I could have probably made like a plastic mold or something that would kind of hold the shape, but... you know. If I get the next one out, I'll probably use the box to keep it better stored. But yeah, having something to like rest it on, I think would be kind of smart. You know, like you hang it up and then it maintains its shape better rather than leaving it lying on a desk. You could research clip-on mics too. Could be some options there. Yeah, why not? Why not just have a little bit of fun with this stuff? That's an interesting idea. Do something a little different, a little interesting. So yeah, this USB hub, I read that you might need to power it. So I brought a power adapter. Everyone's probably got a couple of these lying around. You plug them into your mains, and then they've got that micro USB port that goes into your mobile or like your portable speaker or whatever. Ooh. It's one of those. Right, now you can really see what we're working with here. I'll get rid of that, for sure. So I read that, you know, sometimes the USB stuff is underpowered, so I got it with this cable that you can plug in. And my microphone, I realized that the audio level, I thought it was picking up some music that I was playing. It actually came through with this, like, static hiss. And when I realized that, I then got... I plugged it back in again, the hiss goes away, don't think about it. Then later on I noticed that the hiss was back and I started unplugging it, plugging it back in, it wouldn't go away for a while. I had to give it like a proper unplug and a wiggle and put it back in, and the hiss hasn't come back since. But I'm going to keep my eye on it because knowing my luck I'll just be recording one day and the hiss will be back. It's slightly concerning, but hopefully now it's like gone for good, is what I'm hoping. Yeah, so there's that. Like that little issue to watch out with. So I unplugged the extra power. I wondered if maybe it's sending too much power to it. I don't know if that's the thing. And yeah, it turns out my Go XLR, my Stream Deck, can run just fine without that. But what they do, when you plug them into Windows, like with the monitors and the desaturation problem that I've got, it's like Windows re-adds all of the sound channels as new devices because it's detecting them through a different USB port. So I had to do all the wiggling and finagling of apps and resetting settings for audio, but I kind of know my way around that pretty well at the moment, so it only took me like, 15 minutes and it was all back to where it should be. And so far we've had no audio issues this stream, so it looks like I was able to do that properly, which is a good thing. Right, we're going to come back to this spot over here where we did some counting. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that would be it. So Joe gets to keep his sign, which is not in use anymore, but it stays for now. And then we get to come in here and carve out a chunk of this stuff, just so we can kind of get a picture of the size of the area. Me and Impulse were building a tunnel for iBuy, right? It's got to be big, it's got to be bold and beautiful. It'll be the most epic tunnel, with exception to, Tango's Never hub in general. It'll be top notch. Also, I don't need to clear it up that low down, now I think about it. So I might just fill in a bit of this while we're working in the area. Don't want to fall into no lava, do we? Right, and some digging we do. We got Ginger Chew here subscribing. Thank you so much, Ginger Chew. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for the subscription. I will now be switching to standing. And there is a slight possibility of needing the loot. Also, Cybot, welcome to the stream. You have a very dynamic MMX 300. It's very comfortable and has one of the best speaker quality of all headsets. Not sure how the mic quality compares. I mean, you needed to sell me on the mic quality first. I like the sound of speaker quality. I'll make a note. MMX 300. Where's my note? Oh, it's on this screen now? Thought it was on this one. So yeah, with the USB hub now, it means when I'm setting up the new computer, I hit the switch, and then I make sure that this computer is off though, because if those USB things get disconnected, it will, I'll have to reset them all again. And I bet at some point I'm going to forget to switch it back or something like that, so, it'll happen, but I'll know what to do. So now I'm going through the phase of still got a couple of drivers to install and basic apps like Terracopy and, say basic, I mean essential, 7-zip, and then I'll start setting up the Go XLR and stuff, so, I don't know when we're going to get there. I also swapped out my data storage drive today. God, it took so long to move the computers around. The new computer is really heavy, and then rip out a hard drive and put it into another one and make sure all the cables are correct. Dang, just so much stuff to do. But it's good fun. It's good fun. It's kind of cool to do something a little different every now and then, right? NACL Machine, thank you so much for your Prime subscription. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for supporting the channel. Peeps, if you did not know, you can use Amazon Prime to subscribe. You get one a month. And they don't let you automatically renew. You got to do it manually. Old Amazon. Amazon's so... this is what's really interesting with this computer stuff. Is I kind of still have this feeling inside of me of having to wait. But I go to order this USB hub on Amazon and it turns up the next day, right? And I still remember when you had to order things like that and then it meant you'd have to wait a while. So I have this weird feeling inside of me where it's okay, I ordered these cables, monitor cables and a USB cables and stuff. And then I got this feeling oh, I got to wait a while now. But then it just turns up the next day. And I'm I'm on it straight away. I'm doing all the setting up. And it's so weird. I'm used to it. I understand it's like that now. But I still get this, this odd feeling of what it was 15 years ago or however long. There used to be a time where, the friction of getting your hands on stuff was a lot more. You'd have to do more research, or maybe I remember a time where you'd probably buy a computer mag first, to read about like the different parts. Then you'd have to order it and wait for it for a couple of weeks. Now stuff's just like next day. It's insane. It's insane. Being in Australia, it's still common to wait a week or two, but you get the occasional surprise of 2 to 3 days if it comes in local warehouses. Liger. Yeah, I guess a lot of this is like location dependent too, right? So you have to be close to the distribution centres. I mean, if I were living in the countryside, maybe it'd be a different story, but at least my own experience where I'm at, it's the next day stuff. And Amazon Fresh can do same day delivery. But I sussed out how that works. They're basically like partnered with local stores like Morrison's. And because there's a Morrison's near where I live, you can kind of tell that basically when you're ordering this stuff, it's kind of like doing a Deliveroo or a Just Eat. Someone's going to like run through that shop, pick it, because the stock is everything at your local shop. And then they're going to come and bring it to you. That's kind of how that works. Doc got a Beridamanic headphones too. He got it some months ago. Not sure if he got a mic with it. You could ask him if he likes it. It's a German company that's popular with German content creators. A German music producer I follow swears by Beridynamic gear, mics and all. I'll thanks for that, Curls. I'll start looking into it all. You know, I think it would be just a fun little thing to do some research, make a decision, and start investigating. Hi X, I'm inspired by beef with his card game that I'm making one of my own on the server I play on, but the last few days I'm cracking my head on the deck sorting system. How does the one on Hermitcraft work? Says Weird Grim. Alright, the main trick, I mean you got Cybot in chat who built it, so the person to ask if you want to know. The main trick is that you unload all of the cards into 42 minecart hoppers that have... they're sitting on top of a locked hopper. That is the way to randomize the draw of the deck and pull the cards out one by one. That is a true randomizer, which was the thing that I kept getting hung up on. And people were like, use droppers. And I was like, I'm trying to explain, droppers are definitely not random enough. Puzzle Freck 57, thank you so much for using that Amazon Prime. Appreciate it. Also, I've been reminded, is Vintage Beef on? Vintage Beef isn't on. Peeps, the Hermitcraft trading cards are available IRL, in reality, like seriously. That's IRLS. I was trying to be funny, I just wasn't very good, was I? Yeah, Peeps, Vintage Beef's Twitter is worth checking out. If you head over there, you'll find a tweet of his, which is a thread with all the information on how you can get your hands on actual in real life Hermitcraft cards, and it's on the 15th, 10 days, sorry, the 14th, 9 days from now, that the pre-orders will end. And after that, I don't think you'll be able to get your hands on the original cards again. I don't know the whole dealio with how it's been organized and stuff. But yeah, that is currently like the time and date of when it ends. So if you're interested in getting your hands on playable in real life cards, there's booster packs, there's starter decks, you can actually play the game. You've got artwork with all the hermits. It's like, you know, it's a legit thing. You know, I was gonna throw down a chest here. In my head I was like, throw down a chest, but it's like, wait a minute, this is easier than that these days. Like we got all the storage sorted out. So now we make those. And we put the things in them, right? I think that's how that works. I think that's how storage works. And some stuff I'm just going to be like, yeah, whatever. Yes, thank you for reminding me by the way. When do pre-orders end? The 14th, so you've got 9 days to get your pre-orders in. And then after that, like I said, I don't know if there'll ever be a reprint of the originals, or what happens. Some of us are going to be signing cards as well. I have a way in which I'm going to sign cards, because I basically have the worst handwriting ever, and when I write, my brain will be like, write the letter X, and it'll be like, oh no, we're writing this one. I'll be like, write it there, and it's like, no, we're writing it over here. That's me and writing. So what I'm going to do is create a stencil, and then I think like using spray might. It just feels like there's going to be so much more potential for like mess if I try and like spray over the top of the cards. So I'm probably just going to get like a black felt and just go over it, over the stencil and over the card, and then you'll get like a stenciled Xisuma thing signed by me, essentially. So, yeah, there are signed cards. I have no idea what the dealio is signed cards in. I think they go into random decks. Like, you order some cards and you might get one that's signed if you're lucky. You know? You could get a stamp. I thought about a stamp too, but I wasn't entirely sure what the creation process of a stamp is. I'm picturing you have a tray with the ink, and then you like do the stamping process, right? But how do you get the shape onto the stamp? That's kind of like where I got stuck. Maybe there's some like really easy at-home solution. You don't need any fancy equipment. If you've got an idea, let me know. But I couldn't think of much. Beef said it will be random, apparently. Okay. But that adds to the charm, says Paisley. Maybe you're right, but I don't know. It's like, for me, writing has always just been this awkward thing where, you know, I don't want to do it like that because I get annoyed by it. I would much rather, you know, I found what I think is a cool way to do it, and I want to give it to you that way. So you got a point. You got a point. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But it's just it's such a pain for me. Like, it's such a sore spot, if you like, that I'm like, man, I don't want to sign these things. Like, my writing is just so awkward and awful. Right, so this end is mostly actually cleared out, I think. And now we're just heading that way to get that side cleared out. Print out the shape you want, glue the paper over a large pencil eraser. So, like, oh, carve the eraser back with an extracto. Right. That sounds way too handsy for me. Same dealio with writing. My hands, I can, you know, they're all right for clicking on a mouse and typing on a keyboard, but when it comes to fiddly stuff, like, oh, if I remember correctly, am I to clear this bit out or not? Let's count again. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, it does include that bit. For some reason I thought it didn't include the trench that we got going on here. Yeah, like, doing fiddly stuff with my hands is not good. Very difficult for me. Okay, so I can make them online. I'll investigate that too. I got lots to investigate today, haven't I? I still really like the idea of doing the stencil. I mean, the stamp is a bit like bump, 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 you know, ink card. Whereas, I don't know, the stencil is maybe a little bit more like me. And also I'd have to cut out the stencil myself. It would be a little bit more personal. Vintage Thief says the guitarist. Yeah, like, playing guitar is painful. As much as I love it, it hurts when I do it. And that doesn't stop me because the feeling is so good of, like, playing music. So, yeah. I haven't picked up the guitar in a while. I kind of don't bug myself about that anymore. I'm just kind of cool with it. Just kind of cool with it these days. Because I know how I get. I've just been easing off the whole create stuff all the time mindset. I got myself into a real state of creator brain, and stepping back from it has just really, like, illuminated a lot of stuff for me. Also, last stream we talked about video essays, and I was commenting on how it feels like sometimes you can watch video essays that make what's actually really boring stories seem really cool. And I came across one where it was about like someone who's just been commenting their life story on a video, and the way it was all dressed up, it was made to be like this big mystery, the most interesting thing you're going to listen about. And I'm like, it's literally like going deep on someone decided to comment on a video. Like, anyway, YouTube then served me up this video today. Like, it's like it figured it out. It knew what I was after. It served me up this video that was critiquing video essays, and it highlighted some of the channels that were doing exactly the thing that I had noticed, which was just sort of taking any beat or moment culturally and then using the format, sort of tying it into this grand thing, you know? has this presentation style of just making everything sound really serious and important. And I've been thinking, like, I wonder if I can do something with this format and make like a joke video where I find a topic that I can go deep on, but it's actually really boring, and like you try and have fun, you try and expose the format, like the relationship between the format and the content. And then maybe like the end result is that, you know, people have a good time watching the video, it's a laugh, but then they're a little bit more aware of that. What are video essays, says the guy who does stuff. Video essays, like an essay is writing a bunch of paragraphs on a topic, right? You talk about it. And video essays is like a format on YouTube where people walk you through their thoughts about a particular thing. And what's interesting about video essays is that they don't have to be about any one thing. They can really sort of be like a broad range of topics. And because of this, people kind of use the format to dress up weak ideas as being really interesting, or something that they found out about that they're going to comment on. And like, if you're into a thing or a particular type of culture and someone makes a video essay on it, it's really easy to get like engrossed in it because it's someone else talking about stuff that you love and they're going deep on it and they're maybe uncovering things you didn't know about it. X, when was the last time you burned out, says Nabal Razak. Yeah, an idea about burning out that's stuck in my head is perhaps you don't burn out, right? But like, it's like a scale, it's like a meter, you know? You got energies that you need to recharge. So I definitely had like a wobble this year again, at the beginning of this year, but I just feel like I've really come back from it so much stronger with all the right ideas. So yeah, this year I wouldn't call it like typical burnout though. Just I feel like saying burnout just gives you this picture of like you're tired of making content or something. It wasn't like that for me. I think the thing that I've struggled with is having too much content that I want to create and needing to learn to just let go and be like, it's okay not to do everything. Because you don't have those energies. Like, I've been extremely like disciplined over the years with what I do. And discipline like gets you so far, but discipline does drain. Like, there's a meter of energy that you can expend for things, and it does get drained. Even if, you know, you're all disciplined about what you do, you are still draining energy. I was chatting with Impulse about this. I was chatting to him about food, and we were talking about, like, you know, intermittent fasting and when do you eat. And I was saying to him, like, it's easy for me to do intermittent fasting the way I want to do it because there isn't food around. Because I live alone, it's just me. It's like there's no other point in the day where food is put in front of me. I mean, maybe you know, you watch a YouTube video and all of a sudden there's a bit about food in it. Sometimes you get bombarded like that. But like, if you want to intermittent fast and you got to cook for people, right, and make them food, like it's a difficult thing to be disciplined in that moment. You can do it. The important thing, I think, is that you expend energy. You do have like a discipline energy. There's another word that would describe this really well. Like willpower, right? Like you have a certain amount of willpower every day, and you can certainly expand the amount that you have, or you can reduce it depending on how you interact with such things. But you will expend willpower being disciplined, and that's important to understand because I used to treat, I think, discipline like a mindset or something, like a mode. Like you put yourself in discipline mode and you do the thing, right? But then you're not paying as much attention to your willpower and your other energies, right? You're not just Mr. Machine and go all the time. So you got to pay attention to that other stuff, and that's the leaf that's been turned for me this year. Is like figuring out what those other things are and how to continue paying attention to them, right? That's why I'm like scheduling regular time off and stuff. Because like this week, for example, I was kind of thinking, all right, like I'm feeling really good at the moment. I want to keep making Hermitcraft videos, and you know, maybe what I could have done this week was made 2 instead of 1 Hermitcraft videos, right? Like that's kind of like where I was mentally. But then I was like, I haven't seen people for a while. I haven't given myself a break for a week. Like, you know, sometimes there's just not much going on, and you know, I'm just doing my own thing by myself, and like usually I just get on with that. It's fine. I feel okay. But then I'm like, yeah, but then I have these like little wobbles every now and then, so I got to keep on top of it, right? And so I'm taking this time off. I'm slowing down. I'm not going 100% because I feel like I need that. If I don't keep checking in with myself and doing that, something will happen again. So yeah, this for me, this could have been like a total like work non-stop week. I've just been so like into what I'm doing lately. I've been enjoying all of it. But sometimes I feel like, you know, it might catch up to you in a different way, so I schedule that time. You should get a box of muesli bars and keep it at your desk, says Contornium. I shouldn't do that. That's not what I should do. I'm not a snacker. I eat 2 meals a day, pretty much, and that's it. And I don't really snack. And I don't know why you think I should have muesli bars at my desk. Desk is where I work. I need to associate... Actually, I don't need to clear any of this over here. I don't know why I'm doing that. I need to associate my workspace with, like, getting things done. You know, and then I eat in my living room. Like, my living room is sort of like the place to eat and watch something on telly. I don't watch TV in my bedroom. I don't look at devices. I don't, you know, this, that, and the other. Like, that is for sleeping. That room needs to be a place where I go to sleep, because otherwise my brain is going to associate those other habits with it. So if I like, you know, sat on my bed eating and watching stuff, when I go to sleep on the bed, my brain is still associating it with eating and watching, so it's harder to fall asleep. I don't know what a muesli bar is, help. Muesli bar, I think. I probably said it wrong. Muesli's like a cereal mix. Right, I'm gonna drink some water. Hydration time! I've not really stuck with my attempt to stop drinking at about 1. I didn't feel like it was working for me. I need to experiment a little bit more, but yeah. My wife is always baffled at the fact that I fall asleep 5 minutes after getting to bed. I tell her it's because bed is for sleeping. I don't hang out in bed. So my brain knows when I'm in bed and it's time to sleep, says the keys, sir. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I wish I could fall asleep in 5 minutes. I got sick, right, a while ago. When I got over it, my sleep was really good for a couple of weeks. And catch-up sleep supposedly isn't actually a thing. You can't get catch-up sleep. Like, if you lose out on sleep, it's gone. You know? You don't get that recovery time back. But I feel like even knowing that's how it works in terms of measuring things scientifically, like, I still get this kind of effect of it being easier to fall asleep the next day. But that's probably because you're worn out. You've had less sleep. Your energy supplies are probably more depleted, so it's easier to fall asleep. But then I don't know, for like the last couple of weeks, I've not been sleeping as well as I'd like to. And I've had just one too many odd days where I just couldn't fall asleep. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's my brain just is like always thinking, and I don't know how to quite calm it down. How to get it to slow itself down, because it feels like it's the thing. It's just holding me up. They call that exhaustion. Yeah, being exhausted. I mean, I don't feel exhausted. I just know that I do have less energy about me, right? Yeah, like I don't really get like worn out or knackered really. I probably would if I went for like a really long run or a long bike cycle or something to really challenge me. But because I'm on my exercise and health all the time, I just don't really ever feel at the end of the day tired. I rarely feel tired. Going to bed is just like, hey, I know it's time to go to bed now. I feel like most times I go to bed I could probably go for a run or do some sort of activity or something. Maybe medication can help with your mind, says the People's Champ. I do not want to use medication. I think I don't like the idea of medication as a solution generally. I think we like, in general, healthcare should be more preventative measures and less subscribing of drugs. It feels like there's like a direction of, you know, oh, you suffer with this, let's try and make a pill for it, as opposed to, you know, taking care of other important aspects, right? Like looking after your health and keeping on top of your exercise. It just feels like there's a culture of, let's make a drug for that, you know? They said meditation, not medication. Oh, okay, I got that wrong, sorry. Got that wrong. The pill is the easy short-term solution, says Castle Becky. Yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't appeal to me. Like, all the things that I've built for myself that I can look at and go, this is really good for me, this is beneficial. They've all been things that I've had to work really hard for. Like getting to here where I am on YouTube and Twitch today, like, that is years of hard work. Years of being consistent and sticking at it and not giving up. And like with my health and my diet and fitness, all of that stuff is like, it's the hard journey. Like, you have to turn up every day and keep doing the thing to keep yourself going in that direction. And so, like, I prefer things that work that way around. Like, I don't want to take a pill that helps me go to sleep. I think I would rather try, I don't know, meditation, like someone suggested, for months on end to try and get there before I consider taking a pill, you know? Like, those easy shortcuts, they usually got consequences of some sort, it feels like. Sometimes the consequence is just that you become a shortcut taking person. I don't want to do that. I want to do things like the proper way. Same here, X. I can't get to sleep recent, says Ice Drag. I have a theory it might be the changing weather. I seem to remember each year, like, streaming and moaning about, like, summer and sleep and... See, I like summer, I like the sunlight, but then things like my sleeping pattern always just goes wonky. In the winter, it's like... It's dark early, and it's dark when you go to sleep. Maybe all that darkness is what does it for me, you know? Most of the time I've just got enough darkness that it's not, you know. The early sunrises make it harder for me to stay asleep, says Clarky. Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing, I think. I've been meaning to black out my windows, right? So I brought these blackout kits, and they come with like 12 Velcro strips. Yeah, they kind of give you enough material to do about 4 or 5 windows, which I thought was interesting. Like, pretty typical thing to not quite get enough of the stuff you need. Then again, here I am, like, you know, having a bit of a moan, if you like. I could moan the other way. Like, sometimes we moan about, you know, you buy a new computer device and now you've got another USB cable to go in the box. You've got too many USB cables, right? It's like the opposite of that. Like, you need these Velcro straps to attach, but they don't give you enough of them. And the first box is supposed to come with 12, and it had 11 of one type. So I'm like, well, that makes, like, 7 of these now useless, because I can't properly attach it unless I've got 4 of these things. So anyway, I've got to buy another one anyway, and I might end up having to buy a third at this rate to black out my windows. And, you know, I'm doing all the measuring and the cutting and getting everything ready, and then I go to grab the Velcro straps, and there's none in the packaging. I'm like, what? They didn't put any in the bag. So I shot them a message, and they were like, oh, we're sorry. And they're sending me over the Velcro straps. But it was just like, oh my god, like, it's like the most important thing, and it isn't in the packaging. I don't know, it's just something about it felt a little cheeky, right? The way it works like that. Like, the thing that you rely on quite a bit, you get probably less than you actually want in the packet, so you're more likely to buy 2 to do 1 set. Like, you have to buy, basically, they give you enough material to black out 1 set of windows, but you're probably going to buy two packs to get enough of the Velcro straps, is what I'm saying. Hey, we got noises in the air. Frank Stafford is here for 8 months, and Anark is here for 62. Thank you so much for the continued support, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. Having a good time hanging out with us today. You should get some blackout curtains, says Kara Kid. I have blackout curtains, and they make a massive difference to the amount of light that comes through, but light still comes through. So I am going to put some blackout material on the windows themselves. I've actually done it in here. So in this room, I've blacked out the window closest to me. It's made a really great difference. less sun comes into the room and hits the monitor that I'm looking at. Here's the other thing. I took a strip of the blackout material and I laid it down on the... Now, what's the thing at the bottom of the window, right? You have like the inlay into the wall, and then you've got that flat surface just below your window. What do they call that? I think it begins with C. EAS68, thank you so much for 35 months of support. Appreciate it. Sill, says Paisley. Yeah, the windowsill. That's it. Thank you. C is not what it begins with. It begins with an S, but now you can see why I thought C. The windowsill. Yeah, so I noticed that because it's like white and glossy, tons of light was reflecting off of it. In fact, it might be the source of like more of the light that's causing me an issue than the window itself. So I just laid down a strip of that material on it, the fabric, the blackout stuff, and it stopped so much more of the light bouncing into the room. Window ledge is another word for it, but windowsill is what I've commonly known it as. So now, just with a little bit of material on that, see, I love problem solving, right? Like doing redstone, you're like, I need to make this farm, I need to make this thing do this, and then you figure it out with all these different components. But there's like little in real life challenges as well, where you got to solve problems, and for me that was this apparently. I had a little hack. I put some material on the windowsill and it made a huge amount of difference. Right, look at us. We have successfully cleared out this space for a mega tunnel. An absolute mega tunnel. It kind of looks off a little bit because this is all stepped up by one block. And now that I think about it, actually a lot of where we're standing at the beginning does need to be cleared down a fair bit. So we'll crack on and get that done too. Can use Velcro tape from the hardware store, says DRC. That is true, actually. I did look at the option, like the options to buy your own. My thinking was more along the lines of, if I just use what they've got, it'll work. Because I've brought things like that before. So I have a clothes cupboard from IKEA that I built, right? And there's like a... There's like a strip. No! No! What was I going to say? Yes, so there's this strip, and it's like held together with glue, but over time the glue has like, you know, worn down, and I brought some stuff online which was, you know, designed to seal the gap, and it was just the most awkward stuff to work with. I could not get this glue thing to like unseparate and let me do what I needed to do. You know, so like sometimes I'm a bit wary of, you know, if they're already offering the thing and you know it works, I'm just going to take that because that works. I've got a feeling the thing that we're building goes even lower than this. So I might just leave it here actually. Do a tiny bit more of this. Yeah, we've done a good amount today. Like it's really well prepped for what we're doing next. Now, do we want to get people curious about what's going here? I'm not sure that we do. You see, if we tear this out, people will see it and be like, okay, something big's going there. They'll definitely see it when it's finished. I think we've got more to gain by tearing this out now, basically. Tell Impulse it's his turn, says Consortium. No. I do not mind. Like, hey, I do not mind cracking away at this project. Like, me and Impulse worked on a lot of it yesterday, right? I don't care who does how much. I'm just happy to, like, work on a project and get the thing done. So yeah, we're going to strip this out to sort of say, like, hey, something's coming. That'll be the way. I just joined What's the Project, says Blue Fanda. Nether Tunnel. Massive, epic, mega Nether Tunnel. Right here on this spot. And we're just clearing this out to send a message. Right, my mind just went back to something. Like, my mind just flicked gears, right? Something we were talking about earlier, about taking time off, watching a movie and stuff. So, later today, I was going to watch this movie called Traffic, right? Every now and then I have a little browse of International Movie Database. I look for some, you know, classic 90s, noughties movies and the kind of era of cinema that I really like. I see this one called Traffic. It's got Don Cheadle. Is that how you say his name? It's got him in. He's a great actor. I'm thinking, oh, this sounds like a really good one. I think I might have seen this once. And yeah, what would you know? Netflix. It pops up that it's coming out like in a couple of weeks. So I put it on my calendar, and I watched it when it came out. But today I was looking at the list and I was like, yeah, let's watch Traffic. And then I was like, wait a minute, why is it not on my Netflix watch list? Like, I wanted to watch this movie. And then I realised it when I went to watch it. I was like, oh yeah, I watched it and I didn't think it was that good. Like, it was a competent movie, but I didn't enjoy it massively. And like, that's an interesting sign that I'd forgotten. I'm like, oh, the fact that I've like forgotten I've watched this, that's not good. Yeah, right, so, we'll basically take all of this, right? We're just tidying up. So, I'm looking for another one. I don't want to spend too long browsing. You know, indecision anxiety or whatever we call it. Don't want to do that. So I just threw one on the list that I think I haven't seen. And it's called The Rainmaker. It's a Matt Damon movie. Has anyone seen it? Would you recommend it? You know? Let's see. Let's see what chat says. You know, it's a 90s movie. It wasn't terribly highly rated. I think of that movie where Michael Douglas met his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Traffic. Rainmaker's quality. Yes! Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones was in it. And she did not look like... I hadn't seen her in a movie for a long time, but I remember she was kind of like a big deal for a little while when I was growing up. And she didn't really look like I remembered her looking, so I had to, you know, look her up on International Movie Database. I think she was just, like, young enough at that point to look a little different, so to speak. But, right. The lamps, you know, did we sell any? We sold one! These lamps. We sold a few more of those. Those lamps, oh. I guess I'll restock. You know, we're always in stock here. Is that a Bruce Willis movie where he time travels? I think you're thinking of Time Loop. Or Looper, is it called? Anyone seen The Rainmaker? Tell me, chat, if you've seen it. Yes, but Speed and Die Hard? I was wondering if Speed was worth a watch again. Like, I think that was one of those movies that got clowned on a bit, but it was actually, like, pretty good for the time. 12 Monkeys. Okay, yeah, I've seen 12 Monkeys. Chat, no one's seen... I think no one's seen Rainmaker at this point. I'm not seeing one message about Rainmaker. Which one was it again? I think it was the Pearl one, right? It was indeed the Pearl. Now we've made an extra sale there. Good stuff. It's a bit depressing, to be honest. Sometimes I like that. I think people have a different like tolerance for depressive type of material. For me, I would probably find what someone else would call depressive probably more introspective. Like, I don't mind a sad story or one that hits you in the gut, because, you know, like, the ability for a movie to give you emotions is kind of... Slain by Trader Llama? What? How is that possible? Good Will Hunting, I watched a couple of weeks ago, Tricky. Definitely watch Speed. Speed 2 is a bit rubbish, though. Yeah, if I'm in the mood for a bit of classic action, I might watch Speed. I think I've seen The Rainmaker, but was not impressed. Doc is getting revenge. Oh. Oh, I guess you can be spat at by them, can't you? Yeah, that makes sense. But it didn't say spat to death, it just said slain by. Yeah, I guess llama spit is a thing. Did not see it when Rainmaker was released. I was burnt out on Grisham's material. Is that the scriptwriter or someone? Hey, noises in the ear. We got ES68 here for 35 months. Mimi170320001 for 19. And Pulse1147. All of the numbers for 57. Saying, hi, ex-joke of the month. I went to a friend's house for dinner recently and they introduced me to their cats. There was Urpila, Astrophy, Aract, Alug, and I asked, where did you come up with those names? And they said, oh, those are just their last names. I feel like I did not get that joke at all. Their last names, eh? Let's have a little think. I mean, I'm assuming, Pulse, that this is a deliberately bad joke. Erpila. Is there like a letter that comes before that that makes sense? Where did you come up with those names? They said, oh, those are just their last names. Their last name. Oh, wait, nah. Is this something to do with cats having 9 lives? First name cats. Their last names. I'm not getting it. Okay, people are saying putting cat in front. So, caterpillar, catastrophe, cataract, and catalog. Okay. The fact that I had to really think about this one, it feels a bit lame. I'm not going to lie. Oh, I think someone is watching the stream. I think someone has de-lurked themselves. Or there is some sort of colossal coincidence going on here. Now I'm like assessing, if I'd have thought that straight away, would that really a hit? Honestly, that joke does nothing for me, I don't think. I don't think it does anything for me. Getting some hydration on over here. Gotta stay hydrated, peeps. Right, let's go and drop off all of this junk so I can sort it out later. My eyes have kind of like really adjusted to the desaturation on the screen today. Oh, and I was going to make a note. So, oh, what was the other thing I needed to do? Dang it. All these ideas that pop into my head, things I need to do, I write them down. I don't want to forget. Okay, there's a place that I need to go take the bones to at some point. God, this thing's getting a bit disgusting right now, isn't it? A little bit disgusting. Yeah, I have to have a think about where to store all this stuff. We could do some more prep for this project. It was the mushroom stems that I really need to get to work on. I was thinking, get those in place. Where are my mushroom stems? Oh God! It's so difficult to stay organised. There they are. Not bad. And the leaves and the terracotta. Yeah, let's go prep for this project. With these blocks. Because there's going to be some counting and placing of blocks and stuff. I thought I had something else to do actually. Let me open up my Hermitcraft notepad, because what were the other things? Okay, I've got it all written here. Oh yeah, no, I won't do that. So, if you may remember, we built some redstone for our gold farm to control the filters, and then we changed it, and then changed it back, and then somehow I noticed that after all of that figuring out how to do it, they're the wrong way around again. I was like, wait a minute, how's this possible? So I need to go back there and take care of that at some point. This doesn't feel right. Wasn't that supposed to be recessed 1 block further? Let's go double check. It'll be somewhere on here. X's reading of the joke was a astrophy cat. Yeah, it was. It was that. Well done, you. Oh, you're so funny, aren't you? You're so funny. Yeah, I kind of remember the dimensions a little bit more now. We were digging out the roof over here, you see. Okay. Yeah, actually, look, I've already put some of them in place. And then we were heading up there to dig out. Yeah, okay, I remember what we were doing. I remember what we were doing here. Alright, what's the next talky topic of today's stream? I don't know what to talk about now. I'm all out of fuel. We discussed all the shenanigans of setting up the new computer and other stuff I've been up to, which is mostly that. What shows are you watching? Ah, okay. House of the Dragon at the moment. That's the only thing. I finished watching, doing a rewatch of Rick and Morty, because I've been watching that when I run. I ran today, and I was like, oh, there's no more Rick and Morty left. So I want a new show that I can run to. Like when I watch a show when I'm running, I want it to like really take me away from the running. You know, because then you just like power on and keep going and you're not thinking about it. Like if you watch something boring it's like you just think about the running more. But yeah, the House of the Dragon, like, I just keep getting this feeling of like I'm really not invested in these characters much, and it's making it hard to really care about like the political drama that's unfolding. It's like each time, you know, the twist comes and the events turn and now it's swinging in this direction and that direction, it's kind of not doing much for me because I don't really care too much for these characters. It's also given me a sense now that maybe it's like it's trying to like warm you up for the next season and it's going to focus on the kids. Right now, spoiler territory, you know, I won't say too much, but yeah, it feels like the focus is probably going to shift from a lot of the characters that you know onto these younger ones that you've just been introduced to at the, like towards the end of the series, but I don't know if it'll fully go that way or not. Should we do some redstone here and get rid of the beacon beams down here? Now, if you remember how we did it last time, we added a redstone switch there, no, here, right? And then for this set down here, we would just put one on the opposite side. Now, the way that we did the redstone, if we fly up here, was to simply, yeah, push plane. That's a very simple project. Now, we'd actually need to go above where we are right now to do that. So I'm going to get some light. And then some redstone and just prep ourselves for this. What do you think about Grian and Scar playing with Doc's redstone? Oh. I mean, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. I wonder what Doc will do next, you know? Yeah, I hope all of you know, like, it's all fun and games here on this server, right? Like, the trick to having a community that gets along, you know, for this many years and sticks around, and how to have a bunch of people get along together, because it's, you know, it's a big group. There's lots of different people, different styles, different interests. It's communication. It's always just about communicating, because most people's intent in life is just to get along with one another and have a good time, right? And then it's the lack of communication that would lead to, you know, someone misunderstanding what someone else is doing. And here on the server, you know, having fun and stuff getting broken is a part of the experience. And so, like, sometimes I worry that people will take it the wrong way and think that someone's done something wrong or whatever. We're all friends. We just, you know, we talk about it if something goes wrong, but nothing's gone wrong. It's all good and fun. Doc's a good sport. I could tell they did feel really bad about it, says Yet's Live. Of course they would. They don't want to break stuff, right? But it's going to happen. It's going to happen with redstone and TNT dupers and stuff, right? You know, I got a TNT duper in my tree farm. If someone went there and broke it, I'd probably think, well, it's not exactly the easiest thing to use, is it? Anyway, that's just something for y'all to think about. Like, if you're in a community, if you're part of a group or whatever, you know, communication is really important. Learn to communicate. And communicate transparently and openly. Like, the more you know from each other, the better. You can get to that common ground. You can figure out the way forward. The young ones just can't resist touching redstone, says Kaiser Martin. They can't resist it, can they? Those young'uns. Right, so I think what we'll do at this point is probably just take the redstone out at the same level a little bit further. Just a couple of blocks, and then we'll start to head downwards. Oh, and did the music just stop? Dang it. Dang it. Here's the dealio, peeps. Hit that follow button here on Twitch. Because on Sunday morning, I'm going to try and make the time. I'm going to try and make it happen. Get up at the right time. Sort everything out. I'm going to have an extra longer stream than usual, because I had to cut my one today a little bit short, unfortunately. So, yeah, make sure you follow me. We'll be back again on Sunday. Probably going to end up just picking up where we leave off, because I won't have much time to continue doing what we're doing right here between then and now. So you're invited to come and hang out with me Sunday morning at a different time in the day, which means that probably some of you won't be able to make it if you're in different time zones and stuff, but the reason that I streamed on weekends was because I'd like to reach, you know, a different audience when I can, and it works out pretty well just to get up in the morning on a weekend and do a stream. I could actually probably do that any day of the week, but just because weekends is when usually you got other stuff planned and whatnot, you know, it just works out nicely. So I will be wrapping up my live stream right now. I hope you've been entertained. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for all your suggestions. I got things to research now. A big thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated, and cheered. Thank you for all your support. Thanks to all the mods, the patrons, the people gifting the subs. And what's this? Impulse is going live. And it says, let's plan our next project. I thought it was going to say never. And I was like, Impulse might log on and just be like, oh, X dug out that hole today. Yeah, you can go poke Impulse about the project we're working on together if you would like to do so. You can let him know that I prepped it in my stream today, that it's looking good. Anyways, it's now ready for the raid, so go over there, enjoy that, and the Hermitcraft action will continue. Thank you ever so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.